Shall we go back to our questions?
Sure.
I've got one for you. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to genuinely ask you. And you're going to kill me. You can edit it out later if you want. Opinions in clubs staying open during this pandemic. Now, I'm not going to ask you for your opinion on a club staying open. Right?
No. I think obviously a club should not be open, and I also think we should probably try to keep this a bit positive.
I know. I'm gonna give you the option because I don't want to give opinions on who or anybody else keeping their clubs open, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of the coronavirus and the way it's affecting, like we've had chats like this. I've had chats like this with everybody who's been involved, like is involved in clubs. All like most of my friend circle are involved in jiu-jitsu in some way or other, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of what the effect that it's having and the effect that it's probably gonna have, right? So we've got 2 weeks off for defo, but we know it's not gonna be 2 weeks. Yeah. And based on we're recording this just after Leo's speech last night.
Paddy's Day was yesterday.
Paddy's Day was yesterday. So it's the 18th of March, just to date it. The 29th of March is when the closure is until, so that's 11 days from now. They're talking about 15,000 cases of coronavirus, I think, by the end of April, I think. In that scenario, it doesn't look like we'll be training by the 1st of April. It looks like it's more realistically the 1st of May or beyond.
May, if we're very lucky, I think.
Yeah. So we make our living off it, right? That's what we do. We just spoke about making a living off jiu-jitsu. So obviously we're facing into a very fallow period, you might say. We might need to dust off the old, jiu-jitsu books and start to read them again, all that kind of stuff. But like, I suppose from my perspective, right, as someone who like, and there's other people out there far worse off than we are, right? If you work in a restaurant business, like, or if you're a barman or anything like that now, you're in the same spot, like, and it's a rough and a tough spot. But like, I know that people are curious, like, as to what our plans are and what you're going to do, like, and what I'm going to do and what we plan to do. And we spoke a little bit earlier about not starting the Zumba classes just yet. But like, I think there are clubs under threat. I think I'll still be here. My club will still be going at the end of this, no matter what, because of a couple of things. We were moderately prepared for this. And there's other places that might shut down. There's other small gyms, I suppose, like fitness gyms and stuff like that might shut down. But what are you going to do with your 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever it's going to be? Like, what would you say to people at home? Like, what is there to do? What can you do?
In terms of what now? What
training and staying jiu-jitsu-y active.
I think not training for 6 weeks, it can be a good thing for a lot of people in letting their body heal. Do you know, like we always trained and says, we always got hurt. Everybody gets hurt when they do jiu-jitsu, big or small injuries. Should have, you know yourself, I should stop training, but let the body heal a bit. Yeah, but fuck it. I'll go down and I'll just do the technique.
Yeah, I'll just do technique and then you end up doing 7 rounds.
Yeah, and look, I think go do some mobility stuff. Put a half an hour every day, do a little bit of mobility stuff. If you have any areas that you need to, knees and lower back or neck, I mean, you go do mobility. Look up somebody on YouTube that is a mobility expert and do what they tell you.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Start yoga. That's the thing to do. Start online yoga. That's what I did for a while there. I was doing I did about 6 months of it, and Jesus, I couldn't believe the difference in my body. Like at the end, that's what one of my blacks, Ron Kelly, says to me one day. He says, "Have you ever heard anybody who did yoga going, I did it for a while. It's shite." No, everybody goes, "Brilliant! I can't believe how much it helped me." Everybody comes out raving about it. So, yeah, that's one good thing, I suppose. For me, I'm going to try to take up drinking. I think I've never tried it before. I've never really given it a good run. You know, I've gone through the odd bingey period maybe where I drink a little more than I should, but I was thinking about alcoholism as a kind of
way of life.
Well, as a way of life, yeah, to replace jiu-jitsu for the next 3 months. I'll try drinking, I'll try, develop a real habit. And
here's the thing, right? Let me ask you a question. How fat would you be if you weren't training jiu-jitsu? Seriously,
like genuinely how unfit would I get?
Yeah.
I can't sit still for very long.
Yeah, but like, let's say, Instead of, not that you were going playing football or doing something else, but if you weren't...
If I had nothing to do, I couldn't do anything at all.
No. And you were eating the way you are, and you were... How fat would you be right now?
Well, I can give you the time I was out for surgery as an example. So 6-8 weeks without it. I put on a little weight, I got a little softer around the middle, but I couldn't do it. I had to get up and walk, and I had to do stuff like that. I can't sit still for long. I think you have to. I think if you're a certain personality type, I think you have to kind of get up and go.
But I think I'd be a fat cunt.
Would you?
Not the food I eat.
Yeah, I eat awful lot. I eat shite as well.
Yeah.
So like, when people say to me, "Hey, any nutrition advice for when I'm trying to get my purple belt this year. I'm going to go compete," and I'm thinking to myself, "Who am I?" As I sit there like this eating cake, I'll go, "Oh yeah, sure. Hold on, let me just
Yeah, this could be a bad thing about coronavirus. Everybody get fat.
Yeah, I train to support my eating habit.
Yeah,
I think I would say that. Yeah, I think that's what I do to kind of mitigate against the sheer quantity of food I eat. I've never been super fat. Like I've never been mad. Yeah, no, but like I've been out of shape. Like, but last year I hit about 93 kilos.
You're fucking heavier than 93 now.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm not. I'm 8. Where's your scales? I am 88 kilos at the moment. I am. I'm 88 kilos.
You're heavy.
I am. And in the gi, I'm probably about 90 now at the moment. But I'm 88. Sure, I competed 88.
Yeah, but you probably did the competition. You probably rigged the scales.
I rigged this. Don't be spreading malicious rumours like that. There's enough rumours going around about me without that kind of stuff.
So, do you know, like, as a black belt, you're supposed to be decent at jiu-jitsu, right? Or okay at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
The better you get, the lazier you get against certain people, so you're not working as hard, right? You're more efficient. You understand shit a bit more. So you don't train as hard.
Yeah.
Is that why you get fatter as well when you get older?
It could be.
That's what I'm thinking about.
I'm not like Kenpo fat though.
Yeah, but is that the way we're going? Is that why all the Kenpo people are
it.
fat?
Yeah.
They're just so good.
That could be it. They're so efficient at whooping people's asses that I think that's a challenge though, right? For I don't know if you feel it, like the first thing that the best thing that I did, I don't know about you, but the best thing that I did was I stopped just training in my academy. In terms of keeping me, not keeping my weight, not just talking about keeping my weight in control, but under control or anything like that, or my fitness under control. But it's very easy to become comfortable as you get better. And if you're coaching or leading a class, it's double easy to get comfortable. Because what happens is, you come out and if there's hard rounds to be had, you won't take them. You'll go, it's all right. I'll just work around with these small guys over here. I just want to do this bit. And you could easily not train every night. There's nights I go into my place, right? So I teach on Monday and a Wednesday mainly, right? And we warm up 7:15, the class starts, warm up 15 minutes. I teach for half an hour, like technique, positions, whatever. And that might include positional sparring. And then we're rolling for the half an hour to 45 minutes, right? So I go in and I have to force myself to warm up. I warm up with everybody. If I don't warm up with everybody, I still might train later on, but I might get injured, I might hurt myself. Maybe not like immediately, but progressively over time, it's bad for me anyway. But it's very, very easy if my mindset isn't right, if I don't think my way through it, it's very easy for me, and I say this to the lads all the time, this is my equivalent to getting off the couch. So I have to be there, so I don't have the couch battle, right, that some guys have. But I come home from work, plonk on the couch, you go, have their dinner and go, oh man, I'm just too bollocks. Yeah. Right, and they need that motivation. My equivalent to that is, I come in, I teach my positions, and then there's a point at which I can train or not train, and I have a decision to make at about 8 o'clock every night, in the middle of the class, train or not train. And I have to force myself. Some nights I can't wait to train, other nights I have to force myself to train, and that's my decision. That's my get off the couch. But the other thing that I do is to try to force myself to train as well, train hard, not just train hard. So force myself into bad positions, force myself to try and learn new things. And that's an effort as well to do. Like I find that an effort. I struggle with that a lot because I guess, you know, like I said, we were talking about a lot about age the last day. I'm 41, so I'm not 25, 26. There's creaks and bits and pieces falling off me, and you know, there's all sorts of excuses, I suppose you'd say as well. Yeah. So when I sit down to do stuff, or when I get up, I should sit down to do stuff. I should say, get up off my teaching chair, as it were, my instructor's chair in the middle of the class. I have to force myself to go and do things and to try to learn new positions and to try to train hard. And equally, what we do here are we allowed to talk about the secret Thursday sessions?
Yeah, cancel though.
Cancel for the moment, but the
Just do it tomorrow.
But well, as long as we're asymptomatic, we can do it tomorrow. We can train tomorrow. But like, if I come down to your academy here now, right, and I train, I have to train hard, and I'm under instruction, and I'm under the gun, you know, and it's good. So I think what happens is a lot of guys, and a lot of times, is people get used to kind of putting their thumbs in their belts a little bit.
Yeah.
Doing the point. Good job, you know, talking shit.
Yeah.
You know, instead of actually
it's going to get to a point where if I get as old as you, I won't be able to
keep talking like that. You won't get as old as me, I'll tell you that.
But when you get to 50 or 40, I don't know what age it is. Are you going to be able to do that? You're not.
I don't know. I always have this is a conversation that's been going on in my gaff for about 5 years. It's like a couple more years, I think, and then I'll have to slow down. A couple more years.
Yeah, I've slowed down. Have you've
I mean, slow down in terms of, like, I was never quick anyway, so it's good. But I mean, I slow down in terms of
how much
training.
you do, yeah,
I do
for sure.
But what I say, I kind of cut my cloth now to suit my measure, because if I don't train, I'm a very unhappy chap. I don't have the same outlook on life, I suppose I'd say, putting it generously, as if I'm training. And if I'm not actually doing it, and I don't just mean training, I mean doing something hard, doing something really physically hard. So walking's great, and I used to run a little bit and all that kind of stuff, but I don't get the same thing out from it that I get from like a battle. And sometimes I get that same thing from a battle with weights. I can lift heavy, and I feel, you know, the same way a little bit. But jiu-jitsu is what does it for me, you know. If I don't have that, I don't know what I do.
The sessions we were doing here was fucking savage. It was great.
Ah, brilliant. Yeah. Are we allowed to talk about them?
Sure.
They're secrets.
Secret sessions.
The secret sessions where we try to murder each other, black and brown belts. And, do you know what, it takes you out of the comfort zone a lot? Yeah. We got the likes of Peter Doyle down, who rolls like competition style, like every single time.
Kills it.
It's great, gets you out of your comfort zone, and like we train together a lot. So like we kind of. Do you remember we started? Here's an interesting one maybe for people sitting on. We started those Thursday sessions. Me, you, and Marco, right? Me, you, and Marco Conroy. Me and you, really, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
And then it was Marco signed up, I think, maybe a couple of months after.
Yeah. And
then we were trying to get people, the odd person to drop in the odd time.
Yeah, Peter was coming in,
but when Doyle came down, we were getting very comfortable.
Yeah,
with each
it
other.
was. Yeah.
That was it would be 45 minutes, and it was hard, but it was technically hard.
Yeah.
And then we introduced one new body into the mix, and suddenly it was competitive. And now I'm kind of up the ante a little bit as well. So it was great, and I think that's like, I don't know, for people sitting at home thinking about getting advice and stuff like that, especially if you're on an advanced level now, like how to make your session harder, how to make your session more learning based than learning focused, or how to even improve yourself. I have improved in the last couple of years. I've improved my jiu-jitsu. I'll never be any quicker than I am now. I'm only going to get slower. I'm only going to get maybe I might get a little stronger or keep the same physical strength. My mobility's going to go down and decline from here forward, because it's very hard to keep your mobility as you get a bit older. But my jiu-jitsu skills have developed, because I'm trying to learn things that are more suited to my age and body type. I used to think I was 60 kilos, I think. I used to think I was like...
but so when you said your jiu-jitsu has got better, so here's the question. You now, against you from 7 years ago, 5 years ago.
I think I beat myself now, genuinely.
Say that again now. Who
I'd win. The me of now
would win.
This is time-bending stuff here.
Yeah, but would you win?
Got your quantum leap poster on the wall here. Yeah. Back to the
future. You would win
stuff.
now.
I would win now, but I'd have to be very careful not to actually make physical contact with myself, because there's a space-time continuum thing.
Coronavirus from 7 years ago.
Yeah, and there's all sorts of things. What if I stood on a butterfly when I was going back to beat the me of 7
No, he's
years
coming
ago?
forward and he's staying here, so don't worry about any of that shit.
We don't need to worry about that. How did I get?
Me too. I wouldn't.
Yeah. You wouldn't beat the
No way.
I think
No.
I would beat the me of 5 years ago. That's what I'd be most happy about, because I think the me of, aside from injuries and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
forget that, even that. I think a number of years ago, the time I improved the most was between purple and brown belt. And then between brown and black belt, I actually thought, not that I went backwards, but I don't think I improved at the same rate. And then from black belt, for the first couple of years of black belt, I think my attitude changed a little bit. There was a couple of changes in my personal life as well around that time, and that made it difficult for me to train as hard as I was. I was caring for somebody, and so it was kind of one of the ups and downs of life that really made me, rather than like a lack of love for what I was doing, or a lack of energy to want, or a lack of will to want to do it. But kind of the ups and the peaks and troughs of life, but now, yeah, definitely. And I've got still just as much going on in life, I suppose, but I've just maybe a better attitude to training, maybe a little bit now. Yeah. I don't know, but...
I wouldn't. I don't think I would.
Would you not?
No.
I don't know. I think I would stay fairly competitive.
I think I know a bit more jiu-jitsu.
I hate to hear you run yourself down like this, Roger.
No, I'm saying I used to be good at jiu-jitsu.
You used to be good, but now
I know more. I definitely have learned more. I know more about jiu-jitsu. But I think back then I had a more focused game, and I could do things better.
Bit more single-minded.
Yeah. So I wouldn't beat myself, but I'd be probably better, if that makes sense.
Yeah. More technically proficient, but more,
maybe.
yeah. Well, I mean, so, see, guys, we were talking, Foxy was saying the last time we were here about, like, competitive guys. I won't mention the name now, right? But a very, very high level jiu-jitsu black belt, right? Who I've met a number of times, and again, we're talking like medalists, multiple time medalists at major competitions.
Yeah.
Was telling me you can't take people down. He says, I don't know how. So if you asked me to demonstrate even how to take people down, I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Yeah.
He said that straight up to me, and I was like, well, okay. He's retired now, he's not somebody who's active or competitive anymore. He's like, no, I wouldn't even be able to tell you. And he was laughing about it. Why? Because I don't have to.
Doesn't have to. Well, see, if you do look at the, maybe not this generation, but definitely the last generation of elite competitors, they were very single, like they had like Bernardo's motto was one sweep, one pass. And that's how he was as successful as he was.
I don't think you can do that anymore.
I don't think so, no. But definitely was, let's say, the last generation.
Yeah. But then again, I suppose, if you look at it, and I've heard that about, actually I think it could have been Andy told me that about judo, like the most elite guys have one throw.
Yeah.
One throw. But if you look at kind of the current kind of crop, they do seem a bit more well-rounded, and I think maybe that's kind of a consequence of the natural evolution of the positions. So if you think about something like Bernbola. Bernbola was unbeatable for anybody lads who knew it. But now you've got people who know how to beat it, and they know how to play against it at the very least. And so the evolution kind of, tricks its way along, and people become more adaptive to different scenarios and different situations. And what you end up with is there has to be multiple ways to win and multiple ways to lose, you know what I mean? Have we a few more questions here?
Yeah, let me check.
Go on then, we'll get to a couple more. Because we're just talking shite, we're literally talking about your life here. It's like...
My life?
Yeah, mine maybe as well. I have one here, right? This is a genuine question asked by a genuine person. Not somebody asking about Foxy's hummus or anything like that. When should you know if you're ready for competition?
You are ready for competition. How about that? Go do competition. Don't make it such a big deal out of it.
Yeah?
Go compete. When I was a white belt, blue belt, purple belt, I used to compete every month at least.
Yeah?
Yeah. Always competed. I was in New York, so there's always a competition in New York or Pennsylvania or Massachusetts or whatever. You could always, or Connecticut, you could always drive 2 hours and you have a competition every weekend.
I suppose the big question for this, Brett, if you're from Dublin, your options are massive, and you can drive anywhere you want in Ireland, but most people don't, because when Dubliners cross the M50 ring, they get a nosebleed and get a little bit dizzy, and we have to immediately return to base. It's like the Bermuda Triangle or something like that, you know. On the other side, it's like the rest of the country is non-existent. But yeah, I think if you're willing to compete and if you want to, you can go anywhere you want and do it. Probably say multiple times a year. When I started out in Ireland, there was 2 competitions a year, 2 tournaments maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was the National Submission Championships, which were Nogi. They were great. They were round robin. You knew everybody. You were always in the same division with the same guy next month. So you didn't sign up for it. It was the same 6 fellas doing like a round robin. It was great. They were really good tournaments at the time. I don't know. I think, yeah, my answer to you, who was it? Oh, I think it's Adam actually who trains with me. When did you just ask me? I don't know. Okay, I guess I don't see him.
Adam, you're ready.
Adam, you're ready. You're ready to go. Start. Get cracking. As soon as you know the basic positions and get in and start going.
Here's one for you. Look, them round robin competitions. Remember you did 2. Some fucking board on the roof or something. Seagull. But you did round robin competitions recently enough.
Me?
No? Yeah. That could be fucking ages ago. When was the last? It was not in-house. Downstairs in your gym.
Ah, yeah, we did. Yeah.
What were they called?
That was Grappling Palooza. We did World Cup.
They were brilliant.
World Cup. So where?
No.
Yeah, I think I called it the Grappling Palooza World Cup. So what I did was we broke up into. You'd have like 4 groups of 3.
Yes.
You'd fight off against in the 3.
Yes.
And then you'd go to semi-finals. You go to into
the
qualifiers.
So like a white belt or a blue belt could go over and they're going to get
3-4 matches.
At
That's
least
good.
4
The
matches.
grappling industry is great like that. They get like 4 or 5 matches, you know. I think the best place for things like that is in a gym. So if you do it in a gym, you do like a few like club level kind of things, you know. You get to go in and we were saying like we used to bring. I used to bring lads up here. You bring lads into my gym like loads of times. We should do that a bit more as well.
Yeah.
We've kind of just got semi-competitive roles against people like where it's not necessarily a competition. Yeah. So
I have one here from Coach Andy Ryan.
Coach Andy Ryan, what's it say?
Yeah, why you get rid of Andy? He was the star.
We got rid of Andy because he was the star. Andy, we're supposed to be here. We're sorry. We have to get you back next time.
Here's 2 real ones.
No. Say it ain't so.
If for some reason you lost your skills, would you start again as a white belt, knowing how hard it is?
I'd love to start again as a white belt.
Fuck that, I wouldn't.
Wow, no. I'd love it.
I'd love to start as a white belt just now.
Now?
Yeah,
yes, now. Not when I started.
No, but with the skills I have now.
It's like the ultimate sandbagger.
Yeah,
like
as if 18-year-old white belt.
It's just come in and go, hey.
Hello, it's my first day.
It's my first day, buddy. How are you doing? You seem to know a little bit more than you're letting on.
Yeah, that'd be great.
No, I'd love to start now. In fact, based on what I was saying earlier about like having to scab and fine training and coach myself most of the time, I would love to start now. Love it. Imagine with all the black belts around and all that kind of stuff. Today, there's never been a better time to start Jiu-Jitsu, is what I'm saying.
Here's one from an arsehole. Do you think with the coronavirus outbreak that the lighthouse in Kells will finally serve a purpose?
Is there a lighthouse in
Yeah,
Kells?
it's not a lighthouse. Well, it is
What
kind
is
of a lighthouse.
How can there be a lighthouse in?
I don't, Google it. Ireland's only inland lighthouse, Kells County Meath.
Do you know what they did? Because Meath people are such belligerent bastards.
No,
they
they're fuck off.
They went to Louth one day and they saw a lighthouse and went, I want fucking one of those. I'm going to have to get me a fucking lighthouse as well.
Meath has Bettystown, excuse me.
Oh, it's true. It's true.
So there you go.
But it's not in Bettystown, is it? This lighthouse. Where is the lighthouse?
It's in Kells.
It's in Kells.
Yeah.
That's what they want.
Okay, look, I have a couple more questions. As the number of black belts keeps increasing, will there end up being too many schools? Maybe not after the coronavirus. We fuck us.
You might not be saying that. I've got a question. Are there too many now?
Are there too many now?
Too many jiu-jitsu gyms now? Or are there enough?
I don't know. I'd say there's like, I'm busy enough. We're busy enough.
Yeah. Maybe there's room for one more. If we let them into the club, we could have like a little. There's an idea. We could start a little association now here in this room, and we could only allow in people who want. I think
It is, you know.
I find it's
Dublin is oversaturated. I'd say.
I think what I find it
paper.
surprising is when a colour belt opens up a gym now. I know we had to do it,
Yeah.
but I find that surprising. With so many black belts and so many guys with so much experience, that I find it surprising. I find it surprising that anybody would want to coach rather than learn if you're a blue or purple belt. That really surprises me.
Well,
Like taking time out of your training schedule to
Yes.
start coaching other people. I know I wasn't ready to go if it wasn't for the way.
well
things were.
here's when I was a purple belt, it was a good purple belt. I lived in the Bronx and I used to commute up and down to Marcelo's. And some Thai boxing gym approached me and asked me would I teach a jiu-jitsu program in their school beside where I lived. I said, oh, this would be great, like, because I used to train early morning and lunchtime, and in the evenings I'd be home. And I asked Marcelo, saying, then I was like, should I have asked him? Of course I should, but I kind of just thought I was just telling them really. Delighted with myself, I'm going to start teaching. Marcelo, a fella asked me, what do you think? No, you're not ready.
Don't do it.
Oh, all right.
Oh, okay, thanks. You were all excited, were you? Oh, I'm going to have my own gym.
Yeah.
No, you're not. Okay,
That was a
thanks
purple
very
belt,
much.
good purple belt.
Yeah, well, listen.
And he said, there's so many black belts. I mean,
why would you?
tell him to get a black belt.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was approached there a couple of years ago there to about coaching somewhere else, and I said, look, I have no time, you know. So again, like that was another gym, you know. I said, look, I have no time, and so I gave him, I'd say 6 or 7 names. I said, look, this guy might be available, and this guy will definitely. And I gave him like a Hiku's name because he knows all the Brazilian guys with black belt. Because black belts not training in Dublin at the moment, you know. Like I mean, we aren't even Brazilian guys are over, and when I looked around, I looked him up and it was like, class is starting next week. I was with a blue belt. I went, okay, you'll get him for cheap, but you won't get him for long. And I wouldn't sacrifice my training. Now, that's the one thing that I really regret, is that the sport wasn't more mature when I was starting out, because I really would love to have spent longer learning rather than having to coach and having to do the two bits myself at the same time. Because I don't think that definitely held me back, and it definitely, you couldn't enjoy your training as much as I much prefer to be coached, you know, rather than sit around and try to have to think of classes. What am I going to teach this week when I already know so little myself? Literally being like one page ahead of the jiu-jitsu book. Like, then the guy behind me is like, hold on, no, just outside the door, Jesus. Kimura, K-U, no, I've even spelled it wrong, Jesus. No, it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't too far off, like, you know. And I remember there was a guy came up to us from New Zealand one time when I was like a blue belt. And he came in and was like, how you doing? He was blue belt. So he was like, chatting away to me, and he was like, look, I'd love to train. I was like, grand. And he whooped me up and down the mat. And he went, I'm sorry, is this cool? And I went, oh, this is great. What are you talking about? This is brilliant. I can't wait for you to do this again. Like, you know, come back next week. He was only over for like a couple of months. He was over studying. And I was like, oh, Jesus, I'm so glad this guy's here. Same thing as another guy, Bruno. Black belt now in Brazil. But he came out of the same school as Hafin Guy Mendes, you know, and came over as a purple belt. And he held himself back when he was training me. I was a purple belt as well. And I was like, Bruno, you gotta like stop. And he's like, no, it's fine. You are the professor here. And I'm like, believe me, go for your life. Great guy, yeah. But I think I'd probably, I'd love to start as a white belt now. You're a lucky bastard if you're starting now, I think. Certainly compared to what went before. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I won't.
You just love the sandbag. That's all you want, is it?
If I could go back with the skills to pay the bills.
It'd be nice, alright, be nice. But you'd pick them up faster. That's the one plus, the one positive. You'd pick them up faster, definitely in this
No, see, I'm shit at learning. No.
Are you bad?
Yeah, terrible.
I'm awful.
You want to see, like, if somebody doing a seminar or something, somebody comes in and does a seminar, and you see me over in the corner doing it all wrong. I'm shit.
I'm terrible as well. I'm brutal.
I'm shit.
Brutal. I think, like, you alright? You want to make sure we've got enough battery, is it, to keep going? Learning wise, right, from a physical learning perspective, I was terribly, I was an uncoordinated kid. Couldn't run fast. jumping, climbing, anything like that, brutal, really bad. And I did all the growing. I think I was pretty much the height I am now by the time I was about 14. Right, so all my growing took place between 12 and 14, and I was a lanky stick of a kid. I was about that thin. Yeah. And as a result, along with that came the associated coordination issues, right? So I was brutal. So I started to come into my own around 16, 17. And at that stage, of course, all the sports have outgrown you.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I always say to people, like, when it comes to teaching kids classes and giving kids, I almost want them to have a better coaching experience than I had. Because I think maybe partly my own fault, but like, I would be willing to, at this stage of my life, to accept some responsibility for the fact that I might not have been the best person to coach, personality-wise. But a lot of the times, my experience with coaches and with people in like team environments, especially, was negative. It was a negative one. So, team environments, for example, where like if you weren't a good footballer, which you were shite, you weren't worth having on the team. People would groan when they had to pick you on teams. If you got on as a sub, you might get 5 minutes, this kind of way. That was my experience with sport, kind of growing up, organised sport, structured sport. But I love football. I love to play football. I love to play it like with my mates. But when it came to actually going to play it in a team environment or in a sports environment, it was negative. I had a negative experience, fairly consistently negative. And I played Gaelic football, and I wasn't too bad at that. But again, I didn't really like that. I wanted, I wanted to play. I wanted to play football. And I remember thinking, when I started coaching kids, I always said to myself, whatever happens, I'll never exclude anybody, and I'll make sure that everybody, even if they're the worst kid in the world, they're going to find a place here. I suppose Taekwondo, which I did originally, was lucky enough that I'm lucky enough that it's a very individual sport anyway. Yeah. And Jiu-Jitsu is the same, to an extent. To an extent. Obviously, there's differences, but I think, like, in terms of my learning and my physical learning being poor, I almost think it's helped me along the way when it comes to coaching. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you can see from their perspective. And kids, it's hard with kids, isn't it? It's fucking hard with kids, like, because some of them just pick shit up like that. Some of them are fucking naturally just pick shit up so easy, and then the majority of them find it a little bit harder, like me.
Yeah, I suppose it's probably a conversation for another day. But I'm coaching kids now, 17 years this year, 2003, and even from 2003 to now, there's a massive difference in the kids that come in, coordination-wise, their ability to pick up physical skills. I know you've done some work on this in the courses and stuff like that as well. Their abilities to pick up simple physical skills, their, what I refer to as their contact courage, so their ability to grab, their fear of being grabbed and pushed and shook. It's different to when I started.
And so
it's worse.
Worse now.
Yeah, considerably worse. I think around the time we started sort of coaching Taekwondo and stuff like that in 2003, there was beginning to be a concern about kids' environments, outdoor play, balance, coordination issues. The obesity thing wasn't something that you heard a lot, but you heard that some kids are a bit fatter now than they were, right? But it was before the term obesity really came into Irish life, or the kind of that kind of way. But like I said, it's probably a bigger conversation. But like, there's definitely a change between that year and this, where now we get kids in, and it used to be kind of I don't mean the word I mean a freak occurrence as opposed to a freak kid, right? So when I say the word freak, it used to be a freak if we had a kid in who couldn't, for example, run quickly, or not run quickly, couldn't get the concept of running quickly. Now this might be a bit weird for people to hear, right, if you're watching it now on your phone, but if we do a relay race now with the very youngest of kids, there are kids that don't get the concept of running as fast as they can. Now that's difficult. Do you understand what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
So if we set a kid off running, that they just kind of run without getting the notion of like there's a limit to your effort, and you need to kind of go towards the limit of the effort. that used to be a kind of a freakish occurrence if you saw a kid like that. And I remember the first kid I kind of saw like that who couldn't get concepts like that, not just that one, but I'm just using that as an example. Couldn't get concepts like that, but now that's quite common. Yeah. So
even at older age kids.
Yeah. If they've come to us as their first introduction to sport.
Yeah.
And very often, that's what happens, right?
Yeah.
I remember speaking to a weightlifting coach years ago, right? German weightlifting coach. He was doing a course when I was it's with Satanta College, and he was talking about the German sports scheme. So they've got kind of quite a good structure, far more kind of coordinated than we are. We let the GAA do most of that, right? But they have like a sort of a central kind of idea. And he said, look, so the best athletes start with football, then the filter goes down, and the next best athletes come to say hockey, and the next best athletes after that go to athletics, and then the next best athletes go down, and right down here at the bottom, the fat kids come to weightlifting. And I remember laughing about it, but like and I was thinking, it's kind of the same with Jiu-Jitsu, and I don't mean again the word fat kids or anything like that, but if you think about kids that arrive at Jiu-Jitsu, very often it's because they don't fit in with other sports. And I think that's martial arts, Jiu-Jitsu, whether it's judo, Jiu-Jitsu, karate, whatever it is, I think that's a great purpose that our martial arts serves, is that kids who don't fit into the traditional sports can find a place, you know, with us, because we're individual. There's no pace, there's no competition season that they have to keep up with.
Yes, they don't have to,
And there's no kid turning around and going, what the fuck do you do that for?
Yeah.
And they miss a pass or anything like that. So,
you know, fighting for places on teams, well, that shouldn't be there with kids anyway, right?
Yeah, it's still there, even though they say it's not.
Yeah,
it
is there, yeah.
Yeah, it's a natural thing. I brought my kid, well, I didn't bring my kid anywhere. I tried to bring him when he was 10. Never played formal football in his life, but liked kicking around again. Bit like myself. I rang around a couple of football teams, and I said, saw your advertisement on the board, the post office. I said, okay, 10-year-old, come down. Has he played before? This fella says to me on the phone, has he played before? And I said, no, he hasn't. No. We're looking for a couple of experienced players. And I went, what? And he goes, yeah, we're looking for experienced players.
We're 10-year-olds.
We're experienced 10-year-olds. He goes, yeah. We're just trying to build a team this year. I went, right. I said, you might get a few on a free transfer at the end of the season. Fuck off. Mini Jose Mourinho's, like, you know. Yeah. But I do think that's an important thing for Jiu-Jitsu, you know. An important place, an important role, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're nodding, but you don't.
No, I do.
You do?
I totally agree with you. And even for adults as well, like.
Yeah.
All the nerds and all the fucking people who are no good at football.
Yeah. Or bored with other things.
Yeah, or finished playing football, or finished playing rugby, or finished... What else do people do? Soccer.
Finished it under the gym.
The gym, yeah.
Yeah.
Bored at the gym.
Bored. That's all of our ads say that. Bored with the gym.
Yeah.
Are you bored with the gym? Yeah, I am, yeah. We'll see one more question then, before we finish up, because we could talk all night probably. I've got one from Andy Ryan as well. It just says, is Andy great?
Andy's pretty fucking great.
Andy's great. Andy is great. Now, I'm going to tell you my Andy Ryan story. Will I tell you?
Go for it.
Right, okay, right. So many moons ago, right, and we'll finish up then. Many moons ago, right, I trained with Andy, and I was fighting MMA at the time, right? So I went out to Andy. I was training for an MMA fight, and I went, I can't keep this. I trained with Andy initially, and I'd gone off then, done my own thing, and then I was saying, I can't train myself here, you know, this is brutal. I need to get down and spar, you know. So I went down to Andy's spar, and he whooped me in the old cage that he had in Baldoyle. And after that, I stuck with him, right? So it was great training, old school. I'd imagine it's very similar to the way it is now. Very old school, right? Real good, tough training. And I was saying to you earlier, right? He expects a lot from people, and I think that comes from his judo background. Yeah. But equally, it's not that he expects you to be better than people or anything like that. You just expect 100% effort, right? That's all he expects, right? But you become a little, and I'm not saying I was afraid of him, right? Because I'm afraid of no man. But it was a little fear, you know, if you didn't do, you know, if you didn't put like 100% of the effort in, that maybe, you know, you're gonna get it worse the next session, you know, or certainly maybe get a bollocking, you know. And so we used to have this Sunday morning session, and it was deadly, right? It was like a strongman session. So you might see some of the photos pop up on Facebook.
I think I did, yeah. Pulling vans and
Pulling vans, pulling Richie Moore's taxi right in for harnesses. It was great. He had a big, I don't know where he got some of the stuff from. It was half a telegraph pole that we used to have to lift and run with it and all. It's flipping tyres and doing all the stuff. And it was only for the hardcore. There'd be 8 or 10 people down. But if you're coming up to fights and stuff like that, it was compulsory, right? But I used to go all the time because it kept you honest on a Saturday night. Meant you didn't go out in the beer, you didn't do that. So I used to go Sunday morning. So I used to do all sorts of crazy stuff, like say pulling taxis and everything like that. And it was like every week he had a new painful thing planned for you, you know. He had a trailer as well. He used to get them. He used to be like Patrick Wickstead and Huey O'Rourke. Huey O'Rourke. They used to be sitting in trailers and we'd be pulling them along in trailers and all. It was gas, but it was great crack. Very good workout anyway, obviously, and made you strong, but mentally strong as well. It wasn't just about, it wasn't a physical thing. So one day we go up, right, and we're up there, and there's Carl Roach, Richie Moore, a few other lads. Dave McConkey, who's brown belts now. Who else was there? And that was me and Carl and Dave anyway. And Brad Corbley was fighting MMA at the time as well. So we go up, and I'm all set to go, you know, and it's cold, it's February, right, so it's cold. And he goes, right, into the vans. So I went to Carl Roach's van, into Richie's taxi at the time. I was like, where are we going? We're going to the beach. And I was like, oh, this is going to be cold, you know. So off we go, into the van anyway. And I'm like, shit, I have no hoodie. I didn't bring any, you know, I had my jacket or whatever. So I'm in a long sleeve top, I think, and I'm in a pair of shorts and runners or whatever. So that's grand. So we do a bit of running on the beach. We have a bit of tire flipping on the beach. We're moving the massive big like digger tire, you know, and then we're doing a little bit of exercises on the beach. We're doing push-ups, burpees, stuff like that, and then right down into the water. Forced to duck the other fellow under, right? So you go in, you be wrestling a lad, trying to duck him under. In February, freezing, right? So that's grammar up anyway. I was like, getting a bit cold here. And he goes, right, okay, next thing. He looks out and there's a spit of land, right? Running out. So a sandbar running out. And he goes, right. Up on the shoulders, tire up on the shoulders, you 4. The log up on the shoulders, you lot. You have to carry it through the water there, up onto the land, all the way down the land and back up to me here, right? But the fucking tide is coming in, right? Now, we didn't know this at the time, right? So, me, Carl Roach, Dave McConkey, and one other, I can't remember who it was. We put the tire up on our shoulder and we're like, we're going to be that. Yeah, we're going to finish first. We're going to be the best. Come on, let's go. So off we go. And the water's up to waist level. And the other lads go behind us with the caber anyway, you know, the caber, the fucking telegraph pole or whatever it was. And they're walking along, you know. And I'm walking. It's up to our chest, you know. And we're like, Jesus, how is that sandbar getting any closer, you know? It's like, and Carl's in front of him. He's like, I can't really see it. It's like, all right, keep going anyway. It's out this direction, you know. The water next thing is up to our throat. And like, so someone glances up, where are the other fuckers gone? It's like, so the lads with the telegraph pole, can't see them. They turn around. All we can see suddenly up back on the beach is these lads going, come back. And we looked around, we would have only got deeper. And Carl looks out and goes, shit, do you remember that sandbar? It's now an island. So if we'd have kept walking, we would have ended up stranded. Probably had to get rescued by Coast Guard or something like that. But we were going to keep walking.
You just bring the yoke back?
We had to turn around, we marched back through. By the time we were getting back up there, it was up to our necks. We were considering
in February
dropping the tire. In February. We got in, right? Irish Sea, it was probably, I don't know what temperature it was, but I'll tell you it was cold, right? So we get back up to the land anyway. We're like, this is like, of course, they're cracking up laughing. They think everybody else thinks it's hilarious. The other lads have been called back when the thing was up to their waist. Yeah. Oh, it looks a little bit deep. You better come back out, you know? Or some sensible fella carrying it more likely and gone, fuck this. Come on, go back on. We'll put up with whatever's going back there, you know? We'll do more burpees. But we had kept, no, we're going to be the toughest here. We're going to be the hard men. So I got into the back anyway, threw the tire into the back, and I lay on Richie Moore's taxi floor because I was too wet, right? He wouldn't let me sit in the seat. And I was like, I think I'm a bit cold here, you know. So we got back to the showers, and I was chattering, teeth chattering. I must have hypothermia. So I got up anyway. We're in the showers. Push the button, and I'm like, I can't warm up. And someone else is there. They put the hand on the showers. Barry, that's the cold shower.
Oh, yes.
I couldn't tell whether it was hot or cold. It's the weirdest feeling. Had to get underneath the warm shower then, still in my clothes and everything. It's like, Jesus Christ. So that was the first time Andy nearly killed me. But there was multiple times after that as well. But it was great training, I have to say. It's a funny story, like, I guess now, after I recovered and wrapped myself in a blanket for about 2 days, it was a funny story.
There you go. Look, imagine telling some of your students to go, let's come out to the beach and we'll. Although we probably should be doing that now.
Got a walk over there. I tell you what, it was tough training though. Major hardy.
I couldn't do
Like,
that.
you know, major hardy. It did. It certainly was a toughening experience. You know.
Imagine, I wouldn't be able to do that.
No, it was freezing cold. I wouldn't be able to do it now. In fact, I wouldn't do it. It's just short.